This is Unit 8, Area and Solids, Preview Video 8.2, Part 1. Ready? Deep breath. Inhale. Hold your breath. And breath again. Don't forget a date, time, and location that you are working on this. So we're going to do a quick recap. We're going to be talking about triangles and something called regular polygons. They're obviously related. The new vocabulary here is this word apothem versus a radius. So you remember this illustration in an acute triangle. In an acute triangle, the height is inside. In an obtuse triangle, the height is outside. And in a right triangle, the height of a triangle is on. And for all of these, the equation is base, which in this triangle would be here. In this triangle would only be from there to there. And in this triangle would simply be the other leg. In all of these triangles, the area is base times height over 2. Base times height over 2. So taking a look here, you write your equation, and we go here, our base. Always trace your base. Always physically trace your base. Always physically trace your base. Our base here is 12. Physically trace your height. Physically trace your height at a right angle. That's 4 over 2. So our area is 24. Check for units, millimeters squared. Now a regular polygon. Let me just recap the definition of a regular polygon. Regular polygon is all congruent sides and angles. Very important you understand that. So if this is regular and you walk it all around, all those sides are going to be congruent and all the corresponding angles on the inside are going to be congruent. That's the definition of a regular. So in about the next 8 minutes, the equation that we go over together only works for regular polygons. That's really important you understand that. So there's 3 vocabulary words that you need to be familiar with in a regular polygon. First is the center. The center is the center. So check, center. Now imagine for the next 2 that the center of the polygon is the center of also of a circumscribed circle going around whatever that regular polygon is, perfectly around, so that the regular polygon is inscribed in a circle. It'll help you understand the difference between these 2 terms. So in a regular polygon, from the center to the corner, which would be also to the edge of that circle, that's a radius. Center to corner radius. The apothem, also known as the apothem, depending on which textbook you're looking at, goes from the center to the midpoint of a side at a right angle. The apothem goes from center to midpoint. Trace, center to midpoint. Radius goes from center to corner. Make sure you can distinguish between those two. So when you deal with perimeter, always physically trace the perimeter and find the sides. So for example, if I want you to find the perimeter of this shape, you go like this, put your pencil there, walk it around. Walk with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my perimeter is going to be 8 sides times a length of 8. It's going to be 64 units, whatever it is. Over here, trace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to be 9 times 10.2. That's 18, carry the 1. That's a 0, that's a 1, and that's 9, so it's 91.8 units. Always physically trace your perimeter. Always physically trace your perimeter. Just to recap, basic triangle definition, area is going to be the base of a triangle times its height over 2. So your area of your triangle is going to be a base times height over 2. Base times height, get it down to the variables, over 2. Or 1/2 base times height. Textbooks are going to write it like this. Textbooks are going to go like that, 1/2 base times height. You're welcome to write it like that, but a lot of students, they get confused. Is it half of the base? Is it half of the height? Like, which one is it? That's where students get confused. So that's why I don't like to use that equation, because it really doesn't matter which one's half. So base times height over 2, I believe, is less confusing. So take a very close look here. A regular polygon is basically made up of a bunch of triangles. Can you visualize that? A bunch of triangles? Just shade one. Now, what I'd like you to do is trace all the bases of these pizza slice triangles. Ready? Trace them. 1. Trace the next one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trace those bases again. Just trace them. So I want you to see the base of all those triangles is actually the perimeter of the shape, the regular polygon. And when you say height, the height of that one triangle is the same as the apothem, which is the segment from the center to the midpoint. So height is being replaced by apothem. So theoretically, I could find the area of one triangle, then find the area of that triangle, then find the area of this triangle, then find the area of that triangle, and so on and so forth. And then I can add them up if I wanted to. Okay, so I could find the area of 6 individual triangles, but there's a shortcut. Here's your shortcut. Okay, it goes right here. Base times height divided by 2. Base we're going to replace with perimeter. Height we're going to replace with apothem. So instead of base, we write perimeter. And instead of height, we write apothem, or A. So how do you find the area of a regular polygon? It's Pa over 2. Let's do a couple of these together. It's going to feel really easy when you do this with me. Area of a regular polygon is Pa over 2. Ready? Let's do this together. Step number 1. Pa is perimeter, so you physically trace the perimeter. So my perimeter is going to be 9 times 10.2, that's going to be my perimeter, times the apothem, which is 14, the whole thing over 2. I need to see in all your work at least what I call the setup or the plugins. That I need to see. I would love it if you would get in the habit of doing as much of that as possible by hand, but I know most of you are going to be lazy and be grabbing calculators. So once you do your setup, just be very careful when you do your calculations that you actually put in. So we're going to go 9 times 10.2, hit the equal sign, times 14 equal sign, divided by 2 equal sign, 642.6. So area equals 642.6. There's no units, so we're just going to use the generic unit squared. Let's read this out loud. A regular hexagon has an area of 680.4 centimeters squared. A single side has a length of 16.2. Find the length of the apothem. Do not attempt to do the math until you have a picture. This is a hexagon and it's regular, so that means 6 sides. Regular, they're all equal. Regular hexagon. We already know the area. We have a single side length of 16.2. We want to find the length of the apothem, which is center to midpoint at a right angle. So there is our x, if you will. Let's write our equation. Area equals pi over 2. Now we circle plug chug. Area. Area. My perimeter is 6 sides times 16.2. That, all of that is my perimeter. Times my apothem, which I don't know, that's x over 2. Cross multiply. $16.2 times 6. It's going to be 97.2 times x. Solving, we divide. Now that you have your setup, this is going to be 680.4 times 2 divided by 97.2. And we get an apothem length of 14. So that's working backwards. Says the regular hexagon below has a radius length of 8√3. Find the area of the hexagon in exact terms. Exact means no decimals. So let's see what you have here. We want the area. So area equals perimeter times apothem over 2. Physically trace your perimeter. Just trace it. We're missing the perimeter. So we don't have that because we don't have a side length. Trace in your apothem, which is center to midpoint at a right angle. We don't have that either. Wow, we're kind of missing everything. But we have this radius length. You should start getting this strange prickly feeling at the back of your head like, whoa, this feels kind of familiar because lo and behold, look, kiddos, we have ourselves a right triangle. Let's ask ourselves if we can do anything with it. To find the measure of any angle in this triangle, I'm going to create my pizza slices here, which are, I'm going to draw in all the radii. There's a total of 6, right? Now look very carefully. And come in here, and we're going to go like this, trace all the way around, and you see that we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pizza slices makes a circle. So that's 360 divided by 6, which of course is 60. That means all of these central angles are 60 degrees. Now we're going to focus in on here. And since these sides are equal, that means this is 30. And oh, wow, you should almost be breaking out into song and dance here, folks, because we have ourselves a 30, 60, 90. Short leg, root 3, short leg times 2. Now, if this wasn't 30, 60, 90, you're going to be using SOHCAHTOA. But here's your 30, 60, 90 here. Our short leg. Short leg to long leg. You times by 2, short leg to hypo times by root 3. So something times 2 is 8 root 3. That means our short leg here is 4 root 3. Times root 3 again, that means this is 12. Let's see if that helps us with our area. Perimeter. Our side length is therefore 8 root 3. So my perimeter here is going to be 6 sides times 8 root 3. All of that is perimeter. Times my apothem, which is 12 over 2. Let's try to do this without a calculator, folks. I can take that 2 into anything. I'm going to take the 2 into the 12. That's 6. So now I'm just going to go 6 times 8 is 48. Times 6 again. Six times 4 is 24, 28. So this ends up being 288 root 3 units squared. Looky there. This page you're going to do on your own, folks. Pause the video and then restart. Welcome back. Let's see how you did here. So we have area equals perimeter times apothem over 2. So our perimeter that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our perimeter is 7 sides times 11.3 times your apothem, which is 11.7 over 2. 11.3 times 7 equals times 11.7 equals divided by 2 equals 462,735. Area is approximately 462,735 units squared. Down here, find the area of the regular polygon. You're given a radius length of 8. So if that radius is 8, your apothem would be right there. And if you go around like this, you do your 360 divided by 6 there, and we're going to get 60 here, which means this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. That's 4 root 3. Our side length is 8. Therefore, your perimeter is going to be 6 times 8 times your apothem, which is 4 root 3 over 2. I'm going to take the 2 and into the 4. So that's 6 times 8, that's 48 times 2, that's 96 root 3 units squared equals the area.